Dave here. How are you? Today is, let me quickly read down here. It's the 25th of November. I keep getting things wrong. Now, quick question for you guys. Is the sound and the stream going out fine? The reason I ask is I was just about to make a post on Instagram and this says couldn't connect to the internet. Now, what this computer here plugs into is a little modem out there, and it's a wireless modem. So maybe it's just the wireless section, or maybe the phone's decided to say, you know what, not interested. Okay, so today, what do we got? I hope everyone's well. Have you had a good weekend in the shop? Watching from Colorado. Patrick, how are you? All good, Dave. Okay, thanks, guys. Look, sounds good. Great. Do I look good? That brings me on to one of the points of what we're going to talk about, movies. I checked out Bohemian Rhapsody the other night. Vicky and I both went along to it. I thought it was a great show. The guy had, you know, so much self-confidence, I couldn't believe it. This is Freddie Mercury. And, you know, it was one of those things that Vicky, the next day, was kind of really flat after watching it. She was saying, you know, I knew he was going to die. You know, we all know he was going to die. But how do movies affect you? I'd like to see some comment here in the... I've just read Peter, do you look good? Okay, you don't have to answer that one, Peter. So I need comments in the comment section here, which I'm going to open up and so everyone can see down the side here. There we go. And I thought it was a great movie too, John. So I need you to put comments there about a movie that you've watched and whether it's had an effect on you. Now, there's going to be all sorts of movies, whether it's Lassie from years ago or South Park the movie, you know, maybe not too much about that particular one because that wasn't too much of a family-rated show. Mary Poppins. So Mary Poppins was a movie that I watched so long ago and loved it. It was magic. You know, I was only a little guy then. So it was one of those things that, and movies were new. You know, it wasn't, we didn't have the technology and the knowledge that we have now back then. So it was all kind of eye-opening for us to watch that kind of stuff. So by all means, please throw up some comment there. If you've watched a movie and maybe you want to have a bit of a chat about things in the background there, that's great. Now, what else are we going to talk about today? Australia only go into the draw for a CMT bradpoint drill set and a VIX bit. Now, that's basically going to be part of the show today as well. I want to go through using a VIX bit, and it's I'll put it up against this camera over here. This is a little VIX bit and its use, and a CMT bradpoint drill bit set just there, and you know, I'm just catching up some of the stuff going down at Private Ryan. Yeah, I thought that was kind of a waste of people. How many people died to save that one private? Yeah, you know, I don't understand that bit. I understand the appeal and, you know, the heroics, and yeah, it's a mission, you know, bring people together. But anyway, look, there's a truckload of movies out there. But as I say, throw some comment in. So there's a competition. Well, it's not a competition, it's a sweepstakes. So down in the description box down below where it says show all, track down through there, you'll see links to Amazon and things like that, as I say, which help the show. All sorts of things down there, but you will find where I'm trying to give something back to you guys. And I arranged with Carbatech for them to supply, and they will post out. This is to Australia only. Sorry, guys, around the rest of the world. Your turn will be next week, where I'm going to do another eye muffs, and it's their high quality. You know, they're really professional eye muffs, and that'll go anywhere in the world. So this week, as I say, it's not a big prize, but I thought it's something that's essential to keep in the... I'm reading through here. Nazareth PA USA, thank you for your channel from Papa Moo. Well, thank you for watching. Yeah, so I'm drifting again. Yeah, these are a handy item, and I'll show you how good they are. Only 5 minutes into the show, we're doing all right. Don't forget to click the like button, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And jump over to the other channel, because I'm archiving every show as we're going along. So there's a link in there as well down the bottom, the other show, oh sorry, the other channel, and every week I transfer last week's show over to there. Next thing, a bit of waxing isn't painful. Now I'm going to do some more waxing, and I'll actually be waxing this, and I'm going to incorporate it into a few things. This is the apron for my bench. I'm making one to show everyone. This side's already been waxed. I'm just finishing doing a video on how to assemble this thing for people that buy the bench as a kit. And so I'm going to show you how to use the VIX bit and how to anchor a T-track a whole lot more successfully than what I have been doing before. In the past, I've been using 5 gauge by 5/8 of an inch long screws, and the plain hard truth is they tear out. So what I'm going to do is show you how we go through that process as well. So that's the next one, best screws for fixing T-tracks for your projects. Doesn't have to be a Stanton bench, it can be anything you're fixing T-track to. I just don't understand why manufacturers haven't cottoned on to this method. There are so many people out there use 3/4 inch thick plywood or 18 or 19 millimeter thick plywood or MDF, and they want to put a T-track in it. And this is the best way to do it. Next thing. Bandsaw box video from the Canberra show. So this bandsaw box here was cut for me in around 5 minutes by a guy called Alan. And I'm going to run that video part again. So I've cut it out of one of the previous live shows I've done, and I'm going to run it. It runs for about 8 minutes, but it's well worth watching. You'll love it. Use the CNC to wax the board. Well, that's a possibility. Question, Ken Wills, Dave, question about the drill bits. What's the difference between the photo of the drill bits as displayed and the drill bits called R2, ARTU? I have no idea, Ken. I think you kind of run short on the typing there. Are we going to have chat? And I've already spoken to you about the movies. Patreon, and the thing with Patreon is it supports the channel. It supports the channel so well. The batteries for this microphone that I've got here, they've got to come from somewhere. I buy them, and you know, the people that are supporting me through Patreon are basically financing the show, and it is very, very much appreciated. The electricity to run the shop while I'm doing this, the 6 hours that I put in to prepare the show, even though that may not seem like that much time, it's a lot of time. Okay, Green Mile. Yep, I think I've seen that one as well. All right, first thing that we're going to do is possibly jump straight in to the waxing. So I'll move that over there. I'll move a few things around. And I've got another camera over here again, close-up cam. And how handy, you can't quite see it there, can you? I'll get this back so that you can see it. I'll go to Carl Cam, and you see over here, all these things that would normally, whoops, do the transition, there you'll be able to see it. Okay, over here, you'll see this is the things that would normally be kind of rolling all over the place. Little spot there for them to live. Now, put that down there, a few things out of the way. Where are we? Now, what I have done is I have waxed this one on this side, as you can see. Stops it absorbing and releasing moisture, and also it's very good for stopping things sticking to it as well. Now, should I switch this over to Carl Cam and chat, and etc.? There we go. How's that? You can see me down in the corner when I do the transition. There we go. And into this. I have to have a quick think about which way I'm going to do this. I think I'll do the waxing first, and I'll grab over here a glove that I was using before. Now, these gloves, I'm going to show you the brand because I'm so impressed with these. No one gave me these gloves. I went out and bought them. These are hammer gloves. These are a nitrile powder-free examination glove. And let me bring it up to that camera there. around the right way. I'll tell you what, it's hard to line up while I'm watching this all in reverse as well. There we go. They're the ones that I use because they last and last and last. When you finished using them, I peel them off, and then to put them back on again, why waste them? Because they last a long time. I just blow in the back and it blows them out ready, and I can put them back on again. Does that make any of you cringe? All right, drink of water. Oh, it's not really water. Done. All right. Now I'm sure, if I go to New Zealand, Dave, how do I order one from you, please? Send me an email, davestantonfans@gmail.com. I am producing them, and we will be producing them in the States, possibly in a week. Now, I'm also getting a website built. In the meantime, I'm going to also get new plans up on Etsy. So this is for the new version. There's nothing wrong with the old version. The new version is just from having used the bench for a while. There's some improvements that I've done to it. Now, both of them are fine. So we're just finishing off getting the plans drawn for the new one, and I'll pop them up. I'll let everyone know via, I'll do a little live show just quickly and put it up on Facebook and other social media, and away we go. All right, so I'm going to wax it. Now, the thing is with the wax, not to put too much on. So this is U-Butte that way, isn't it? Traditional wax, and this is just their neutral wax. I'm using a rag. I've got a glove on, not because it's going to do anything to me, but I don't see all that stuff there. That would have been getting stuck under my fingernails, and why do it? So here we go. I'm going to start in the corner over here. Whoop, there's one thing I forgot to do. Now watch this. This is a trick. You take the glove off, you come over here, and you say, David, you idiot, why didn't you put the masking tape on first? Very important. Get a bit of masking tape in here. Now, for those that are interested, this masking tape I purchased from Aldi, and I thought because it was so cheap, it wouldn't last. And I've had a few people agreed with me. They said, oh, it's going to be rubbish. It's just one of those things. You expect things that you pay a lot of money for to last, and things that you think, oh, well, if it's cheap, it's wasting my money. But this masking tape is brilliant. Now, all this stuff's going to be covered in the video that I release on how to assemble this bench. Now, here we go. This is the glove that I've just taken off. Now, I'm going to turn it back inside out a little bit and poke the fingers down inside. And then, watch this. Done. Got the glove back. Sometimes it's an idea to let it dry a little bit, because with the moisture in there from exhaling, I don't know what they call that. Is there any doctor out there that's going to let me know what it's called? Transpiration, is it? I don't know. Maybe that's a new word that I've just made up. Vicky and I still talk about, we make up stupid words in the car as you get bored driving. You think to yourself, that's one for the show. And we try and write them down, but we lose where we wrote them down. Now, she's probably going to be watching this show a little bit later on, and she'll be saying to me, no, I've got it. What are you talking about? I know what the word was. It'll be such and such. And she'll have it written down on, I don't know, a piece of paper in a handbag. So as you can see that I'm not depositing too much on, and I'm not overly concerned about the holes. Now, when we've finished doing, and this is just a piece of old bed sheet, I think it is, a bit of cotton. Try to use something that's not going to have a lot of lint, because that's a problem. And try not to, I've used paper towel before, and try not to use paper towel because they break down as you're doing it, and it just ends up ugly. And Carl, thank you again for Carl Cam. This is just great. I'm very appreciative of it. Now, I'm trying to stay on the board, but every now and then a little bit of wax will drop down the inside there. And that's why we've got that masking tape to protect us from putting a finish on, a wax down there, which the self-adhesive cushion strip will not bond to. Oh, a question about the self-adhesive cushion strips. I had someone ask me the other day, in the kits that I'm sending out, are they Festool cushion strips? And I've got to tell you, no, they're not. In the first one I made, they were Festool cushion strips that I put on, and I put a link there if you buy the plans to buy the Festool cushion strips. But I found, itchy nose, I found that these, I've sourced a cheaper style of cushion strip, and they work fine. They don't work as well as the cushion strip from Festool, but you know, they work. They do the job. And you can see this is sitting on the new one, not on the old Festool one, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. Now, by all means, if you get a kit, I will send that out to you with this style of cushion strip on. You choose to use it or not. You can put Festool on if you want to. Your call. Okay, so the waxing part, as I say, we just need to do this waxing first. There's a bit of wax went down there. And there's a couple of tips that I'll go through when I start to buff it. How are we going with the movies there? I haven't read any of it yet. Chris, email Dave, website soon. There you go. So, yep, we're getting a website built for the benches, and it's all happening. There we go. That's all done. Now, when I take this glove off, I don't like to just grab it like that. I invert it, and as I can keep that. I used to throw these away all the time. Why? You know, why throw the money away? I'll do a quick read. I'll send you an email about my question I asked before. Chris, thanks for that, Dave. Hello from David from Doncaster. Chris Sullivan, the track isn't Craig. No. You know why? Craig tracks will not take a 5/16 T-bolt. This is a Veritas track, and sometimes I use the Rockler track because they are both universal. This is believe it or not, this is a Veritas 1/4" T-track, and it will take 5/16 T-bolts. And that's why I use it. It has no holes in it when you buy it. I mill it up myself. I put a 6mm hole for the screw and an 8mm drill down over the top of it with a stop over on the drill press over there. It's an 8mm to create the countersink. And it works very, very well. Wax on, wax stays on. Exactly right. So what does the kit come with? All right, I don't really want this to be an advertisement, although it's turning out that way. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to incorporate two things at once. I'm trying to let people know about what's happening with the kits because I've had a lot of people ask me. And the other thing is I'm trying to show you that even if you don't want to get a kit, you want to just get the plans or do something on your own. That's your call. I'm trying to show you the best way to do it. The best way that I've found to do it, because it's taken me a while, and you know, I like to share information. Now I'm going to switch it over from here to another camera. Let me see if I've got something. Close-up cam. Oh yeah, why not? Let's go this one. So we've got close-up cam happening over here. And you can see this is what I'm watching here on this screen. This is my monitor in front of me. And you can see that the bench, well, down the side of the bench and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to swing this over here. It's on the cushion strip. This sander, the ETS, is not a very noisy machine. You can see the fleece pad. This is Festool fleece, which is spelled V-L-I-E-S. And it's got a wax build-up on it. And I keep this particular pad for doing this work. And one of the other tips I'm going to give you right now is the reason I use this instead of 400 sandpaper is the sandpaper has holes in it and it goes all over my pad here. With the fleece, there are no holes. It's an aluminium oxide mesh and it spreads the the wax really well. It heats the wax up perfectly. So here we go. The glove is merely condensation of the warm moisture in your hot breath on the cold glove surface. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to turn it on. As I say, it's not too loud. So I'm going to just leave the sander, and I'm pushing down quite hard in the one spot. Basically, I'm heating the wax up, just moving along the board slowly. On the larger sections of the board, like this here, I do one row at a time with the wax while I'm applying it, and then I don't get any blotchy lines. If I was to just put the wax straight down there, I'd get a blotchy line from where I joined. See, it's staying quite well. This is the cheaper cushion strip that I supply, and it's staying beautifully. It's not going anywhere. I found it really good when I was routing as well on top here. This takes a little while, not a long time. Doing a little bit of reading there as well. How many people we got watching, and got any thumbs up? It's always nice to get thumbs up. I'm going to come down over this slowly. And one of the other things I was going to say is, if you go right on the edge, there's a chance of catching the fibres. So I try and straddle it. Oh, thank you. 8624. There you go. I think we need some more thumbs up in the... Now this is the part that's interesting. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move the sander quickly, and that brings the polish up. I got amazed. Look at the sheen coming up. Done. Done, done, done. Look at that sheen. That all comes up right in that last second. I've still got a nice build up on that pad. Who would have thought that using a sander on some wax would be worthwhile putting on the internet? All right, so what's the next thing I'm going to do? The next thing is the drilling. Now this is the interesting part. I'm going to take out of this and you'll notice if you do get my kit, there's a couple of holes. See these holes here? Now they are part of when I'm doing the whole thing on the CNC machine. So don't worry about those. The T-track is going to go over them. So here's the T-track. I cut the thing to length, and I also drill it out, as I said, on the drill press. And then when I put it in, you watch how easy this goes on. I'm just going to push it in there. It's a beautiful fit. See that? Nice and flush, both ends. Lovely. Now, I have that T-track there, and I've got the holes in there, and I want to drill a hole down through that, perfectly centered. And this is where the VIX bit's going to come into it. Now, let me see if I can show you this nice and close. I've been practicing doing my hand with the VIX bit. There it is. So the VIX bit has got a very small drill bit inside, and it's got a chamfer around the tip. Now when I put that, and I'll grab another track because it's going to be easier for me to show you rather than in the one that's there. I've just gone back out into the garage. I'll knock up around 20 or so of these in a go. So you can see, let's go to Carl Cam. No, let's stay here. This might work. So there we go. There's the 8mm. Come on, focus. You can do it. Come back a little bit and then come in. Maybe not. Okay, there's the 8mm hole. There's the VIX bit. I don't know if you can see down inside there. It centers perfectly. So I'm wobbling it around and it's not moving. So from the other side, when I put the VIX bit in, you can see that it's centered that drill bit, although it is looking back there. Hold on, I'll just stand right in front of the camera. So you can see it's centered the drill bit, and when I push, the drill bit is coming down perfectly in the middle of that hole. Okay, so that's why I use the VIX bit. Now, as I say, this VIX bit, one of these number 3s, I'm giving away. And all courtesy of Carbotech. So, I don't want, I'm just going to put in the drill, I don't want to drill into the bench underneath, so I'm going to pull it slightly out past the edge, and I'm going to start from the center and just drill. I'm going to put it in a chuck. Thank you very much. That's wobbling around a little bit too much. With this, and anything that when you're drilling, is try and keep it so it's going to be tracking straight. Here we go. All the way through. And I'll show you that first one straight away. There. Got it, got it, got it. You can see it. That's perfect in the center. How many times have you done, I'm talking to the little camera now down in the bottom right corner. How many times have you gone to put screws or drill a hole for screws in hinges, and the rotten screws have slid out to the corner because they've followed the grain, and it's a pain in the neck? So the VIX bits are fantastic. You can get them in all different sizes. Pardon me, drink. And away you go. So I'm going to drill the rest of these now. All perfect. The reason I'm using the number 3 when I'm actually going to end up drilling a 4mm hole is because I can use this on all sorts of applications. 8-gauge screws in Australia, perfect. Now that's an interesting one. I've gone down right beside an existing hole and it held the drill perfect. The drill didn't wander off and go down the other side. So there we go. Now I have that. I'm going to take the T-track out again because I can. Look at this. Now don't turn it around because those holes have not gone in a regular pattern. I've just drilled them on the drill press. Tip this out, and I'm going to tip her over. And we'll see, and I'll probably best to go to Carl Cam with this one. Let me see, where are we? Carl Cam and chat session, switch her over, transition, done. So here, you can see I have some very small holes here. I've also got some larger holes from when I actually machined the whole thing up. We're not going to really see that. I'm going to go back to the close-up cam. Close-up cam, close-up cam. There we go, switcheroony. There. I'll bring the cam in a little bit closer and you can watch. How's that? You can see that all right? Now, the bradpoint drills are a whole lot different to a standard drill, like an engineering drill for drilling in metal, because they have a point. See that? It's a sharp point on the end. And there's two little spurs out on the end. I'll show you on the bigger one. This is a 10 mil. There, that's a nice image. There. Okay. Now, as I said, this is the prize this week. For one person in Australia can win these and the VIX bit. As I said before, all courtesy of Carbotech, who are wanting to support the channel. Probably once a month we'll do a giveaway from Carbotech. Sometimes it's going to be a small thing, sometimes it's going to be a big thing. Now I'm going to use this and I'm drilling from the back. And I'm just going to chase that 3mm hole, or sorry, the smaller hole straight down. Done. That one. It's not this one. That was part of the manufacturing. And I'm making sure that I am not drilling into the bench underneath. Don't need to. Or my fingers. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a very small countersink. Now this is called a through hole. This is called a through hole or a cross hole countersink. I got a set. I think it's 4 different ones in the set. And these things are great. I love them. They don't clog up like ones for engineering. So again, these are specific for woodworking. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to do a quick countersink. Now I could have, if I wanted to, done the countersink first. There we go. And there we go. I've got nice clean lines. Now you might want to know what this tape here is for. That is so I don't get wax. So when I put this part on, it will bond to there, and that will create the connection point. So there's no wax on here and there's no wax on here. So that's another part I'll show you in the video later on. I'm not going to bore you with that during the show. So I now have those there, and I need to clean that out ever so slightly. Drop that down. Okay. So the bottom of the dado has got stuff in it. So it's very easy. Rather than go in the other direction, I'm just going to drag the chisel back like a scraper. It's a bit hard when you're only using one hand to do it. Because we do not... Now why am I doing this? Because I don't want anything holding the fibres or holding the T-track up. The T-track has been, or this dado for the T-track has been machined very finely, so it sits perfectly. Now I need to turn it back around to the original way, then put the T-track back in, and I'll know if it's the right way because the holes will line up. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to glue and screw that in a minute. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to have a watch of the bandsaw video from Alan, where when I find my mouse, there it is. I'll do a quick read first, so we'll switch back up to here, and I'll see where we're at. Mighty Mike, fixed bits are fantastic. I use them for all my hinge work. Steve Wallbank, this bit's the best thing since sliced bread. Ken Wills happened to me all the time till I got mine. John Luke, thumbs up. Ken Wills, thumbs up for fixed bit, lifesaver. Lost Wits, I love the through hole countersink, but a hex or Centratec chuck would be better. It would be lovely. Luke, those countersinks work great in aluminium as well. I've been running on the same one for 1,000 or more holes and it's still holding up great. Zane, Dave, you want a router plane for that? Yeah, well, that's a bloody good idea. Thanks for that. Okay, I'm going to have a quick look around, see if I've got a brush here, which I do. I'm a little bit funny like this. It's just, I like to keep the bench clean because if I'm working with anything that's fine, I don't want it to end up scratched at all. So it's really nothing. It takes a very short amount of time to keep a clean surface. All right, let's jump over to the bandsaw box video from Alan Williams. Box work. What do you think of that, guys? Okay, now Alan Williams is absolutely amazing. He's sitting down here, sharpening a chisel. I'll show you some of his gear first, some of the stuff he does. So, makes these beautiful bandsaw boxes. I'm going to tip this back a little bit so we can see what's happening. Now, I had a look at this one. Peter, can you come around and give me a hand, please, buddy? I want to have a look at the Baltic Pine Nautilus box. Have a look
Hue
at
and Pine.
this. Hue and Pine.
That's the one.
It's beautiful.
Out of there.
It's beautiful.
So all cut on a bandsaw,
Yes.
including, can you imagine doing that cut on your bandsaw?
Look at that. Show me the drawer. Show me the drawer.
This is the drawer with the inside, the outside of the drawer,
I go straight in.
straight in. So these are all made from a single solid piece of timber. of
Yes.
course. So that is the bit of timber that's been cut out of that hole.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So all the grain is going to keep on following the same way. Everything is
consistent through the piece.
like this one down below it.
And this one down below, this one's even more interesting because whilst we have the carcass and the drawers that come out of the carcass,
Yep.
with this one, you'll notice
Peter, I'm going to swing round so I've got light on the mic. It's a bit dark.
Yep,
There you go, guys. You can see that a whole lot better now.
so you can see here that instead of, as with that one, where you had the drawers within the carcass,
Yep.
here the drawer fronts are hiding the carcass of the piece.
Yep.
And yet it is still all done out of the one solid piece of timber.
That's amazing. Absolutely beautiful.
Alan won't tell you himself, but I'll tell you he's the best in the world.
I reckon he is.
Yep.
And he's, some of his boxes have been given to pretty notable people.
Yes, we could mention names like Bill Clinton and Prince Charles, who were both not only have been given a box, but have been collectors of his work. So they've gone out and bought more themselves.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, there's a couple here that are in the rough still that he's making.
There's a Nautilus
Another Nautilus that he's working on.
that will end up being like that.
That's amazing.
And with a bit of luck, that might be finished in the next year or two.
I don't know. If he keeps coming to these shows, maybe not. So here's the man himself. Alan, can you tell me a little bit about how you got into this?
That's a difficult question.
Difficult question?
I first saw them many, many years ago in an American magazine, and I
Yes.
thought, that's a good idea. So I went from there.
Right. And you're a carpenter and joiner as an apprentice, were you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Excellent. And can I ask how old you are now, Alan?
76.
76 and still having a great time. And
Yeah.
when do you reckon you'll give it up? Never?
Another 15 years.
15 years?
Yep.
So when you're 91?
You're doing the maths.
I am doing that, see, because you're 76, I'm helping along.
Thank you.
And you're using this bandsaw here. This is a Laguna.
Yes,
And are you able to do a little cut for us?
I am.
I'm going to set the camera up for us, Alan. So I'm going to move it around a little bit, guys. Give me a second. There we go. That's all good. Now, yeah, I'm ready. Go for it. Just, you're going to cut a bit of a shape out for me?
Just going to cut one of
Yep, no rush.
these.
Okay. So Alan is going to cut one of these out of that. Here we go. This is just amazing. Now guys, if we aren't getting more people watching now, it's a shame, because Alan is an amazing talent. And when you watch what he does here, this is just beautiful work. Bring it down. Is that camphor laurel you're using there? Yep. Is this the back or the front you're going to cut off now, Alan?
The back off, right?
Cutting the back off.
Now the drawers come out.
Okay, so now he's going to cut the drawers out. I'm going to bring the camera in a bit closer. Around this side and tip it down on it. I should come around a bit more this way. Isn't this a talent? Look at this. This is one of the drawers. Now remember, what he's got there is going to end up like this. And this is the back of the drawer or the front of the drawer? Back of the drawer.
The other front.
Do you mark them at all, Alan, or do you just remember where they came from?
I don't. I remember.
Okay.
He's a master craftsman with his stuff.
Look at that.
Alright, I'll go back to Stan. You stand here, and when Alan's done, I'm sure he'll give you a few tips if you want some. Alright?
He's my agent.
He's your...
He's good, isn't he?
Yeah. Okay, so you got to start putting thumbs up for this, guys. This is, you won't see this very often. You might see a couple of people at a men's shed have a go at this, but Alan is fantastic.
You know, Alan actually manages to teach some very lucky people from time to time, so he does run workshops in how to do what he does.
He still does workshops?
Still does workshops. He does workshops at Artisans at Mundrook, at our place at Mundrook.
Right.
His next workshop is actually next weekend, but only 6 people get to do the workshop at any one time.
Right.
So they're all hands-on.
Is it available via a website?
You can check on the Artisans on the Hill website. And,
Artisans on the Hill website?
artisansonthehill.com.au.
Yes.
And there will be details of Alan's workshop. When we have dates, we put the dates up. But the best way to get into...
All done. Show me how it all fits together there. That's the back. That's another back. That's drawer, another drawer, and then the fronts. Look at that. That is amazing. That's just brilliant. Fantastic. Alan, how many could you punch of those out a day?
I don't know.
You don't know? It's not about the numbers, it's the satisfaction of doing it. Yep, I thought that might be the answer. Now the gluing process, obviously you're a little bit less in width. You've lost the thickness of the bandsaw blade in the drawers. So how do you keep them proud so that they fit in line with the front, or do you round them over so that they sit back a little bit?
I also take a little bit off them.
Yes.
You look at this one.
Oh, you can take a little bit off the front.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take a little bit off the outside.
Yep.
Of the body, and then they're all rounded over.
Beautiful. That's fantastic. All right. I'm going to head over the other side here now. Thank you very much, Alan. Thank you so much for that. And there's the man. If you see him in the street, go up to him and say, that was fantastic. Thanks, Alan. There you go. Wasn't that pretty amazing? Okay, now as I said, that's it right there. Pretty amazing. I'm going to tidy this up one day, and I may even make my own. I'll try. But Alan is a hell of a talent. Okay, John, can you have a quick look at some of these posts that are coming up, please? Now, what's the next thing? Where are we up to? I've got the track in here. You can see on the close-up cam as well. And next thing to do is to glue it in and use the Euro screws. I'm going to try and get this part done pretty quickly. And here's another little tip for you. If you're using glue, hold on, let me get this screw here. I'm going to switch the cameras back again. Where are we? Close-up cam. Okay, now I'm going to use a Craig screw, it could be any screw, to try and clean this out. Well, that's not too bad straight away. Beautiful. The reason I did it was because I had used it last night, and maybe it might have bunged up during the night. Now, you'll notice I've got a bit of an angle there. Now, a lot of people tend to drag it back that way. Hold on, let me see if I can switch cameras there as well. There, okay. A lot of people tend to drag back this way. Now that's actually wrong. It's a good idea to go the other direction, and that actually forces the glue down and it doesn't bead and roll up and go everywhere after it. So let's give this a try. I'm using this Sally's liquid nails, which I found to be fine. It's a whole lot easier than using a polyurethane glue, which becomes very invasive. It just goes all in through the track and you'll never clean it out of the track, and it's a pain in the bum. Or I could go for this. This is Power Stick. This claims it'll corks, bonds and seals all in one step. I've got a bit of this from Jeremy Carter from Stanley Black & Decker. He supplied this a little while ago for me for grouting around the pond. So I'm going to use it there. It's just a matter of trying to get to it. And it's, I'm keen to use it. But when I looked at it, because Powers obviously and Sellies are opposition to each other, I thought I'd give them equal credit on the show. But I reckon if that does everything it says it'll do, I reckon that's going to be great. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to start pushing this in along here. And I'm going right into the corner. And that's on purpose. I don't know if you can see it coming through there yet. I'm coming up to where you guys are. And that's depositing quite a nice bead. I'm going to get a little bit of curl up because I haven't really got a lot left in this tube. There we go, that's better. Now you don't need to put too much glue in. beating up there again. That's better. And I'm going to come from along the other side. Nearly there. Oop, too much right there. Coming back through. Done. Okay, that's enough for that one. I'll show you how that bead is in there so you can get some kind of an idea. Let's see if we can see that there's not. I've kept it right into the corners. Now the reason being, if I put it in the center, it's going to go down the screw holes or back up the screw holes while I put this in. So I'll pop that in now, making sure I'm lining up with the holes and it's the right way around, which it is. I'm pushing it down and I can even see the glue coming across the holes already. See, where are we? Just here. Get it like that. Maybe like so. The glue starts to invade the holes. Try to keep it back away from the edge as well. And now I'm going to use the Euro screws with a driver. I had one here. It's this, just a Phillips head. And there's the Euro screw. Now these are a 9.5 millimeter by 6.5 or 6.3. And we'll put those in. Beautiful. That's so quick. And these things do not let go. Magic. Why do you glue and screw the track? Why not just screw? Well, because I'm using Craig clamps every now and then, as if I've got one kicking around. So I use these guys. These are a Craig bench clamp. And I replace the mushroom bolt with a 5/16 bolt in there, and it slides into this track absolutely beautifully. And they create a truckload of pressure. And these will really force that track out if you don't have it totally secured. Yes, you really do need all those screws. For the reason I just said then, Hilton. Evan. Barry is fine. He's old, but still alive. Come on, focus. There we go. Lovely. I'll switch over to Carl Cam so you can watch what's happening from there. Done. Move it forwards a little bit. Beautiful. Now these screws I supply with the track already drilled out. So I reckon it's pretty good value personally. Now I'm going to have a couple of these kicking around. I'll turn it upside down. We'll have a look at the other side. And you know what? That looks very neat indeed. Don't you reckon? Over there so we can see it. Yep. All right, I'm going to switch cameras again. And we're 5.2. Let me switch this over to main camera, and there and there. Let me have a quick read. You can never have enough. Okay, there's a lot of force in the track. Yes, there is. Dave, how can I get some of them for the Craig clamp? You just buy 5/16 T-bolts. That's all it is. So would using John's support for the Craig be better as well? Yes, it is, but they're slightly different purposes, Zane. The Craig clamps I use on the top and also on the front of the bench if I'm locking a joint together while I'm assembling stuff. That original bolt on the Craig clamp bends the track. I learnt the hard way. Yes. Okay. John, can you just can Evan, please? Okay, the bench is ply. What are the screws? Let me have a look here. I'll do it. It's not hard. There we go. All right. Euro screws. Okay, so if we have more people wanting to make comments that I don't feel are for general exhibition, we'll can you straight away, and also John will be watching and he'll can you as well. So a little heads up. Don't even worry about it. Our moderators are straight onto it. Okay, now I need to show you Timo's project. Where are we? Okay. Timo, here we go. Now I need to read this to you. Timo has just finished building one of the benches, and I'm going to flick on some photos. Okay, hi David, Timo from Germany. I might have taken a while, but finally got round to finishing the bench. I know, 10 months seems a bit excessive, but on the plus side, I'm quite happy with the outcome, although I made a couple or two whoopsies along the way. The slots for the adhesive strips are just a little bit too wide. The nuts I used are too short to attach the legs from both sides, and the wax finish could have used a third coating. You'll see I left out the T-rail completely because I simply had no use for it, but the adhesive strips and the bench cookies do work like a charm. So thanks again for providing your plans and keep up the good work. Also on a side note, I'm quite jealous of your CNC, but unfortunately it simply won't fit in my kitchen. I added a few pictures of the finished bench and the progress. Kind regards from Germany, Timo. Well, that's lovely. So I'll switch back up to there and across we'll go. So guys, if you do anything, if you make a bench and you're happy with it, please send the pictures in to me or a bit of video, and we've had a couple of people do that and it's fantastic. Or if you've got your own project that you're working on, please send those in to me as well. I'm going to have a bit of a read here. I think we're just about done on project. Looking through it, the bradpoint drill and all that kind of stuff. We need to, what was I going to say? We need to, sorry, I get a little bit distracted by idiots coming onto the channel and trying to, be smart. So the fixed bit and the bradpoint drills for Australia only. That's the giveaway. Have a look down in the description box. The waxing, just took you through the quick process on waxing, which I have found out to be the easiest way for me. The best screws are these guys here, as I was saying, the Euro screws. You can't really see that there, but maybe over here. Bandsaw box, the video from Alan, who's an absolute master. He's fantastic. Chat, which we've been having here, and some idiots have come in and tried to destroy it. We've chatted about movies. Do they have a lasting effect on you? You can keep on adding to here, or even the comments below after the show's finished. That's not a problem. Even while the show's going, you can add comments in below the video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Patreon, photos from where you're watching, of projects you're building in your shop. We want to see animals in your shop if you've got pets that hang around. And very, very soon, I've had a request to know when a table saw blade requires sharpening, or when it just needs to be cleaned, and how to go about the process of cleaning it or sharpening it. We need suggestions for topics to go onto the live show, because I can only talk about my bench so often. Everyone's going to get sick of it. I think that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope you took something away from today that's going to help you. A few tips from just me doing stuff around the workshop and sharing those with you. Let me see what else we've got down here. I think I've got everything there. We've got intro and text, which is my patrons that get to a certain level. I throw their name up here, and I'm also going to read their name, which is Chris Sullivan, Roger DeBolt, Johannes Moa, John Wilson, John Parra, Vincent Niang, Andrew Haverliv, and John Lafferty. If you want to get into the same boat with these guys, by all means, jump onto the Patreon site and support me. I'll be blunt about it. It really does help a lot. Thanks a lot, guys. I shall see you all next week. And next week's going to be a short show. It's only going to run for about half an hour, so you won't have to put up with me for too much. I'll explain why. See you later.